Yes, ma'am.
She is here, I think, in this side of the world. That's why she lost track of time.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
not on the phone.
All right. So we are broadcasting, which is good. Okay. So let's get going here. Have I put this on mute or not? Mute. Okay. It's already muted. Okay. Om Ajnanatimarandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadkamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivan Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Scha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpa Tarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Welcome to the class. Thank you so much for joining our class here. Vaishana Mataji, Priya Mataji, Preeti Mataji, Lakshmi Mataji, and Sutapa Mataji. So, which words are we doing today?
17. 6.17.
6.17 for 500 points. She passed the buzzer sooner than you could, Sutapa Mataji. So, Vaishana takes the 500 this week. Okay, so let me see if I have the 5.17 up and running or not. And if not, then we'll bring it up. Okay. And I'm going to start sharing my screen here. So what does chapter 6 talk about?
Dhyan yoga.
Which yoga?
Dhyan yoga.
Dhyan yoga. Okay. Yeah. And okay. And what are some of the things that we are reading about Dhyan yoga?
Last week we talked about the eating and sleeping.
Okay. So let's see what we talked about last year. Sorry, not last year. Oh, last year also. So 16. So he's saying there is no possibility of one becoming a yogi, O Arjuna, if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough, right? That's what we said last time. Now let's see what we're going to do this time here. Just text number 17. And a very famous verse, most of you already know it. Yuktāhāra-vihārasya yukta-ceṣṭasya karmasu yukta-svapna-avabodhasya yogo bhavati duḥkha-hā yuktāhāra-vihārasya yukta-ceṣṭasya karmasu yukta-svapnāvabodhasya yogo bhavati duḥkha-hā yuktāhāra-vihārasya yukta-ceṣṭasya karmasu yukta-svapnāvabodhasya yogo bhavati duḥkha-hā. Synonyms. Yukta means regulated. Āhāra, eating. Vihārasya, recreation. Yukta, regulated. Ceṣṭasya, of one who works for maintenance. Ceṣṭa karma. Karmasu, in discharging duties. Yukta, regulated. Svapna-avabodhasya, sleep and wakefulness. Avabodhasya, not abodhasya, avabodhasya means wakefulness. Yoga, practice of yoga, bhavati becomes duḥkha-hā, diminishing pains. Ha means to finish. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. How does it differ from the previous verse? Did we not talk the same thing there? This is the previous verse. Previous verse said this.
Yes, Mataji, we talked about like less eating or less sleeping, or too much eating or too much sleeping is not good. So here it is telling that regulated. So one kind of thing means it's similar.
Yeah. So then class finished.
Similar means
We did it last time. Why waste time, right?
Mataji, there are two new words which have been added, two new things which have been added in this one.
Okay.
Recreation and work.
Recreation and work. Okay.
So basically, it is carrying forward the last one, sleeping and eating, but two more new things, that recreation and work.
Okay.
That
Also
also,
added.
if we, yes, Mataji.
Okay. So at least now we have a reason why we should stay here in this class, right? We can talk about recreation work. Okay. Right? So if you look at these two verses more scrutinizingly, this has got negative intonations. This verse is saying there is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi. You cannot become a yogi if you eat too much or eat too little, sleep too much or sleep too little, right? So he's taking the negative. If you don't, either you're on the extreme ends of the pendulum, too much, too little, right? Eating and sleeping, then you won't become a yogi, right? Now here, what is he saying? This is a positive reaffirmation of the same verse with slight modifications, of course, as Priti Mataji noticed that recreation work are added there. But here, basically, he's doing a positive reaffirmation of the previous verse. Here he's saying that if you are regulated, there he was saying if you don't regulate, you don't become a yogi. Here, what is he saying? If you are regulated, what happens?
Sorry, Mataji, can you repeat the question, please?
So my question here was that in the previous verse, he's saying that there is no possibility of one's become a yogi if you do these things, right? Too much, too little of eating and sleeping. And in this particular verse, he's saying that I'm saying that it's a positive reaffirmation, and he's saying that if you are regulated in the habits of eating and sleeping, right? Then what happens if you're regulated?
We can mitigate the all material pains.
Pains, right? So this verse is talking about mitigating of the material pains. Okay, that's the point to note, right? So there, if you don't do this, like you're not regulated, then you can't become a yogi. And here is saying that if you do this, all this, then you are going to mitigate the material pains. That's what you said, right? Okay, purport. Extravagance in the matter of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating, which are demands of the body, can block advancement in the practice of yoga. As far as eating is concerned, it can be regulated only when one is practiced to take and accept prasadam, sanctified food. Lord Krishna is offered according to the Bhagavad Gita 9.26. What is 9.26? Famous verse. Vegetables, flowers.
Bhadram pushpam phalam tayam yameva tapachati.
Tad aham bhakti uparitam asnani priyadatmana. Right? So vegetables, flowers, fruits, grains, milks, etc. In this way, a person in Krishna consciousness becomes automatically trained not to accept food not meant for human consumption or not in the category of goodness. As far as sleeping is concerned, a Krishna conscious person is always alert in the discharge of his duties in Krishna consciousness, and therefore any unnecessarily time spent sleeping is considered a great loss. Avyarth kalatvam. A Krishna conscious person cannot bear to pass a minute of his life without being engaged in the service of the Lord. Therefore, his sleeping is kept to a minimum. His ideal in this respect is Srila Rupa Goswami, who was always engaged in the service of Krishna and who could not sleep more than 2 hours a day, and sometimes not even that. Thakur Haridas would not even accept prasad, not even sleep for a moment without finishing his daily routine of chanting with his beads. Chanting with his beads, right? Not chanting while you're doing vacuum cleaning and washing and taking a shower. Chanting with his beads 300,000 names. As far as work is concerned, a Krishna conscious person does not do anything which is not connected with Krishna's interest, and thus his work is always regulated and is untainted by sense gratification. Since there is no question of sense gratification, there is no material leisure for a person in Krishna consciousness. And because he is regulated in all his work, speech, sleep, wakefulness, and other bodily activities, there is no material misery for him. That's it. Okay. So what did you get from this?
Mataji, pretty intense.
It's intense.
Not to waste a single moment in life.
Yeah.
It's like as if when we used to have our exams, board exams, and we used to while away sleeping or eating or snacking, then our parents used to say, you're wasting your time, your board
Right.
exams are coming.
Right.
So I could correlate to that example.
Yes. Very correct. And it is intense. And we have a tendency to waste time. Do we or do we not? Or it's just me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But what I liked it says that if we do everything the way it is supposed to be in Krishna consciousness and thinking of Krishna all the time, there is no way that one can you won't be materially miserable. You won't be able to get miserable.
We won't be able to get miserable. That's a good point. And I'd like to bring up that verse one more time and see how we need to read the fine print. Okay, let's bring up 6.17 one more time. And Vindavali Mataji is here now.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna Mataji, I signed in before, long time ago.
Yeah, we gave you marks for that. Yeah. Okay. That's why I asked Sutapa Mataji to call you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw you ever joining, and I was in the middle of something. Okay, here. So I'm asking you to read the fine print. Krishna is a good lawyer. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains. What is the fine print? By practicing the yoga system.
Yoga system.
So you see, this is very, very important. You have to practice the yoga. What does yoga mean?
Bhakti yoga, Mataji.
What does yoga mean?
Connection to
God.
To connect to God, right? Yoga as such can mean anything. I'm connecting my fingers right now, right? But the true meaning of yoga is that you connect to God. So what I want you all to know is that it's not just eating regularly, sleeping properly, and or recreation, controlled manner, regulated this and that, right? That is not just enough, right? That so many people do, right? They do exercise, they eat only leaf, they're vegetarians and things like that, right? And so there's a there's an incident that comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm not able to find it. That there was where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to do this, Harinam Kirtan, but he used to do this Kirtan only to very close associates, those who were on the purity level of doing devotion, on a very high purity level of devotional service. So he used to do that with his friends, right? With his close associates. And one day when he was singing, he would say that I'm not getting the bhav. When you sing, you get the bhav, right? I'm not getting the bhav. So he said, who else is here? He kept on asking, who else is here? And we know once that it was, I think, Shivas Prabhu's mom she was so curious as to what he's doing and what are these men singing and what are they enjoying without me being able to participate. So she went and she hid herself in a basket. And then they finally discovered her, and then she was shooed away. So then similarly, one day, again, that day also he was saying, I'm not getting bhav. The next time also, he was saying, I'm not getting the bhav, I'm not getting the rasa. There's something wrong here. Who else is there? And it's like, it's just the usual people, nothing. He said, no, something is there. And then one of them spoke and said, oh no, the only new person that can sing over here is this yogi. And you know what? The yogi drinks only milk. Right? Drinks only milk. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very angry. So he said, kids also drink only milk. Right? So regulation, yes, he's regulated only milk. Right? So, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu shooed it away. So what the essence of that story is that if we are only regulating these things, right, it's not going to remove the miseries in your life. The miseries from your life can only go away from devotional service to the Lord. He's the only one who can mitigate the sentence that we have been awarded here in this life, right? So that fine print is there, right? The fine print is saying that right? I'm bringing up the verse again. Fine print is, he who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system, right? Now, if you go back to the previous verse that we had, I think this will take me to the previous verse. Here he's saying there's no possibility of once becoming a yogi, or Arjuna, if he eats too little. So this is like, if you are doing all this, you will not become a yogi. Now, the yogi over here is the yogi used in the generic term, right? Dhyana yogi, who could also be trying to get mystic powers. Right? So a person is trying to get mystic powers. This is a must for him to do. It's absolutely a must that he must regulate his sleeping, must regulate his this thing, and then he'll get his mystic powers. But will the pain go away? Not necessarily. Will his miseries go away? Not necessarily. Right? He just got some powers. Right? Mystic powers. And that's it. Will old age come to him? Yes. Will death come to him? Yes. He might have some power over, deciding when he wants to leave, but he has to leave. If he doesn't leave the whole millennium, then finally, when the millennium changes and there's pralaya, he will go. He has to go, right? So we have to understand that here Krishna is saying that this verse here is saying that the way that you have to duḥkha-hā, these material miseries will only go away when you connect yourself to Krishna, right? That is the very, very important point in this verse, right? And there's also one verse that I'm trying to look up. Just give me a few seconds here. I want to bring that up. It's from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Okay, let me see. Yeah. Because I wanted to go a little bit into the avarth kalatvam verse. It's very nice. Okay, I might be able to search here. Okay, got it. CC Madhya 23. Okay. Yeah. Coming up. Because these are some very interesting things that I find this is one of my favorite verses. And very, very powerful, very, very impactful. And as soon as I can share my screen, I'll share it with you. Okay. So here, this is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Shantir avyartha kalatvam viraktir manashunyata asha bandha samutkantha namagane sadaruchihi asaktis-tad gunakhyane pritis-tad vasati sthale iti adayo nubhavasyur jata bhavan kure jane. So here what is saying? When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, right? So the seed was planted and now it has become into a fruit. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following 9 symptoms manifest in one's behavior: forgiveness, concern that time should not be wasted, detachment, absence of false prestige, hope, eagerness, a taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord, attachment to descriptions of the transcendental qualities of the Lord, and affection for those places where Lord resides, that is a temple or a holy place like Vrindavan. These are all called anubhav, subordinate signs of ecstatic emotion. They are visible in a person in whose heart the seed of love of God has begun to fructify. How do you like this verse?
Wonderful, Mataji.
Okay. And I was sure that you're going to ask me the number. So here it is for you to note down. CC Madhya 23, 18 and 19.
Mataji, can you scroll it up a little bit so that I want to take a photo of that.
Okay. Yeah.
Scroll it up.
Yeah. After Varshana notes it down and tells me she has noted it.
Yeah, I noted, Mataji. Actually, from the top only, I had noted
Okay.
down.
You want to note this one or the translation?
Translation, Mataji.
Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Right. So quite often, many times we we ask this question, am I progressing in devotional service? This is the test. So I don't want you to take the test on internet. But these are some of the things that we can test again. Like, I look into our hearts and see how much of forgiveness do I have? Right? How much of concern that time should not be wasted? How much of detachment do I have? Am I completely devoid of false prestige? Do I have hope? Hope, and where is this hope coming from? There is a hope. Where is the hope coming from in this? Asha Bandha, right? Asha Bandha is the hope, right? So what is the hope? What is this hope we are talking about? We have big hopes, right? I hope I'll become a millionaire if I work hard. What is this hope they're talking about? What is the hope the devotee has?
So that Mataji,
Expecting something.
one fine day we'll have the prema of the Lord. I mean, we'll have
Oh
prema
yes,
for Lord.
absolutely. Absolutely. You are on the right path. That you will go there. You're on the right path. Right? And what I'm saying, emphasizing here is that you're on the right path. Which basically means that Haridas Thakur used to chant 300,000 verses every day. He would not eat anything. Right? So then there is two things. One is to follow, one is to imitate. So imitation means that I will also sit down and I'll chant 3 lakh verses. And by the time I'm done, I'm angry with everybody in the home because I'm hungry. I'm so tired. And nothing got done and I'm stressed out. Right? What does following mean? Follow is that you're following the principle. What was the principle? He did not eat till he had completed his rounds. Now, that's something you can do. Okay, let me complete my 16 rounds and then I will eat. That you can do. Right? And slowly, when you do this, because you're following the path of Haridas Thakur, you are going to reach that position only. If you take a road, where will that road lead you? That's why they say, Mahajana yena gatha sapantha. If you just follow the Mahajans, wherever they're going, you're bound to reach there. There's no other way, right? Because you're following them. But there's a difference between following and imitating. Right? Imitation means that I also wear, gerua vast and yellow clothes, and we have a tadi and all that. But inside the mind is thinking like a markat of all other things. Right? So Asha Bandha, I was saying Asha Bandha, hope. So I was asking the question, what is the hope that a devotee has, right? The devotee always has the hope that the Lord is going to save him. There's always a hope. Krishna, this raining so hard. Krishna, this, Krishna, that. It's a hope. That's why he prays to God, Krishna, right? Those who don't have hope, then they don't, So Asha Bandha, there's always a hope in that person's heart. Right? So forgiveness, concern, eagerness. Eagerness. What is the eagerness for? What are the devotees eager to do all the time?
Chant the holy name.
Chanting
Serve
the
the Serve the devotees. Serve the devotees.
Yeah, service. Yes, chanting. I don't know.
Listen like this. Mataji is saying about Krishna Katha and other things.
No. Well, that comes a little later. That comes a little later. But the eagerness is to serve, right? Always serve. And that's why they're giving this example of Sanatana Goswami, right? And he would not waste any time, not sleep at all. And why do they do? Because that eagerness is there. The eagerness is there, right? On Sundays, for example, you see the Varshana Mataji, when I start the class at 6:30 a.m., which is 9:30 her time, I catch her, gobbling her breakfast. Why does she gobble her breakfast? Because that eagerness is there, that I need to attend this class and also go to the temple to serve. And if she doesn't eat then she will attend the class, then wait some time and then go to the temple, which means time wasted. Right? So you see, that is regulation of eating also. That you're not sitting aside 45 minutes to sit and eat nicely. Just bare minimum, whatever you have to eat to keep body and soul together. You eat and then you go. Right? So eagerness, when you have the eagerness to serve God, a lot of the other regulations will automatically happen. And the eagerness is there, I want to chop vegetables. And the eagerness is there, I want to cook for Krishna. Then for as long as you're cooking for Krishna in the temple, you can't eat. Right? So
I want to do that now. Because I don't know how I'll get the chance. I'll go to the temple.
Stopping you, take Uber, use your son's credit card.
No, not that. When they let me cook there. That is the main thing.
He will let you cook there. Talk to Ramananda. He'll let you cook there. Don't worry. Yeah.
I want to do that.
Come on Sundays, they will help you. Yeah. Come on Sunday, Saturday, weekdays. Yeah. Yeah. Krishangi Mataji could do with some help. You can come on Saturday evenings also. There's a lot of cooking that happens there. Yeah. So eagerness to serve is there, right? So that eagerness to serve. So as you're seeing that, when we are talking about these words, we are talking about doing things for Krishna, right? And that is the yoga that is happening. And that is how your dukkha go away. See what happens with part of the time that when we are, when a small child is crying, when a small child, we have done that for our kids also, they fell down, the knee is hurting, and then you put the band-aid, but they're still sobbing and like that. And then you show them a little, a toy or something, and then they're happy. Why? Because the mind gets diverted and goes to something more pleasant, right? Similarly, when we become adults, nobody can show a doll like that to us. We need something more concrete, right? So what is that concrete thing that will satisfy the soul? Other than Krishna, there's nothing else that's going to satisfy us because we are wired that way. We are the idli sambar eating people. Like, don't give me rajma. Like that, or vice versa. Like that. So, so when you are doing devotional service, it has happened so many times. I mean, I have Matajis in the temple who come and tell me, like on a Sunday we're chopping. And chopping, and we were all enjoying. There were like 25 pounds potatoes to chop and tomatoes to chop and all that. Cut, we were chopping. And then one of them says that, if my husband sees me like that here, he is going to get angry because I did not cook in the afternoon telling my husband my hand is hurting. And it is, right? So did the pain go away from the hand? No. But because you're doing something higher, you were cooking for Krishna, the duḥkha-hā automatically happens, right? So when you connect your things with Krishna, the duḥkha-hā or cessation of material miseries is going to happen. That's what this particular verse is saying, right? But we don't do that, right? On the other hand, so yuktāhāra-vihārasya, right? āhāra, vihār. It's like summer vacation, I must go to Andaman Nicobar Islands. It's summer vacation, I must go to Mexico. It's summer vacation, I must go to Las Vegas, right? Or it's a holiday, it's a long weekend, I have to go somewhere. And Prabhupada describes in one of the thin books, and he says that there's a businessman, he does business the whole week. And then he gets sick of that whole business, doing the business the whole week. Then on the weekend, he goes off to an island, right, to enjoy. So Friday evening he leaves, and then Saturday he's there, and then Sunday he gets bored of that place, and now he wants to come back to his business because his mind is all stressed out now. right? And then he gets back to this whole thing, and then come weekend, what does he do? Again, he goes there. So we are trying to do vihar, we are trying to do recreation in the wrong way, and it is not satisfying. Sometimes I think my work is my recreation because I like the work so much. And when you get sick of it, it's like, no, lying down on a beach under the sun is a recreation. And then after some time, like, I'm so bored. Okay, let me come. I really like my work. Right? So in a Ferris wheel, we are just going on and on and on and on and on, not doing the right recreation. Right recreation, you go to a movie, you watch a movie. Then I ask you to go back to the movie again, you might go. Third time, fourth time, no, I've already watched the movie. Now, how many times have you said, I've already watched the Ramayana? Right? Right? You never said the same thing. The same thing. We laugh at the same joke again and again, genuinely. Right? Because it's a different thing. Krishna Katha is a different thing. It's a Naam Gane Ruchi. There are people who don't want to listen to Krishna Katha. Right? It's absolutely different. Right? Ye kya bakwas laga rakhi hai? Right? That's what they will say. Right? On the other hand, those who are devotees, they will like to go to places where Krishna lives. Places like temples, places like the Vrindavan Dham. Right? Look at Prabhupada. He will, I want to die in the Dham. Take me there. Right? And even on his deathbed, what was he saying? Take me on a parikrama of Vrindavan. The doctor said he's too frail. Don't do that to him. Like that, right? So they have this desire, constant desire to just go there and do wherever the Krishna is. Actually, I'm organizing the yatra. I'm one of the facilitators. And sorry, I just got distracted over here. What was I saying?
Planning for a yatra.
Yeah, so I was planning for the yatra. Yeah. Somebody sent me a yatra message, so I got distracted. So yeah, so planning for the yatra, and then I was noticing that over the past 10 years, there's one couple who comes every year, and they had a small child, baby, like 1 year. They came with a 1-year-old baby, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5 years, 6, 7, like that, right? So many years they have been coming. And I was just thinking, this is their vacation. This is how they define. And it's not that they're coming from India, they're flying, international, and they're going there. Every year they do just that. Why? Naam Gane Ruchi, or Krishna Sthale, Priti, his love for where Krishna lives. I want to go there again and again, again and again, again and again. Right? And then as Shishka Prabhu says that, okay, you want to go to Krishna's place. So, well, you take a bus and you pay some money and the bus driver is going to take you everywhere and everywhere. And then, you come back and nothing registered unless you took some pictures. The pictures are there on your inside your camera, and then the pictures were there on the internet in any case. So basically what you need to do when you go to these holy dham and holy places is that you go and listen to Krishna Katha. Naam Gane Ruchi. Right? So you will have a taste for that, taste for chanting his name, taste for hearing his glories. And that is why, like when there is, I remember once my parents moved to a house which was just next to a temple, in the sense that our bedroom, the wall of our bedroom was just behind the wall of the bedroom were the deities on the other side, it was that close. And they used to do the aarti, we could all hear that. And so every month or Ekadashi, I don't know how it is, but there used to be Satyanarayan Katha. And people would come. I would go there for the prasadam, let me be honest. And so there would be there, and every time he would tell the same story. Every time, same story. Kalavati or whatever story that is. And we all loved it. Why? Because the taste is there. Again and again, over and over, we will do that. And that's connection. And that's how your duḥkha-hā is going to happen. Right? Everything, anything, yat karoshi, yat ashnasi, yat juhoshi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi kantiya, tat kurushva mat arpanam. So you have to do everything as an offering to Krishna. Right? When you're doing everything as an offering to Krishna. So here, In the words, Prabhupada just says, recreation is ruled out. Although the verse says that you should be regulated in your recreation. So maybe once a year you can go to Las Vegas. But Prabhupada is saying no. The question of recreation doesn't arise for a devotee. Recreate, what do you have to recreate? Recreate means you were doing something and it all got messed up, so you have to go and rejuvenate your body and recreate the mood, recreate the atmosphere, whatever you want to recreate. But here, the creation itself is happening when you're doing service to Krishna, your spiritual body is being created. What is there to recreate? Like that, right? So he's saying that the question of recreation is not that you ask some other people, right? You want to go there? No, it's my service, I can't go anywhere. So if they're saying it is my service, I cannot go there, this means they like the service. It's not that the temple cannot arrange for a substitute for you when you are out on the service. They don't want to go. It is the recreation. The work itself is the recreation. So like how in management classes we learn about, make job your a fun activity. How can you make your job a fun activity when you have the boss staring down at you? Right? So this is where the job becomes a fun activity. Moment you connect it with Krishna. Right? And the moment you connect with Krishna, even if you have pain in your hands, even if you had any type of discomforts, all those discomforts are just going to go away. Right? So concern that time should not be wasted. Avyartha kalatum is very, very important. So that's why when they say recreation, they'll say it's a waste of time. Going to Vegas is a waste of time. Going to the mall is a waste of time. I remember when my daughter was young, when I was growing up, there were no malls. There was Palika Bazaar in Delhi, and I went there when I was 21. So before that, there was no mall as a teenager for me. And my daughter used to say, "Yeah, mom, can I go and hang out in the mall?" Recreation, like that. But now, what a person will do the moment they get some holiday, maybe there's an off at office, maybe there's President's Day, an extra day, Chutti, 26th of January, Independence Day for Krishna, they just go and run and they want to spend their time over there at the temple. Let me go clean the temple. Let me go reorganize the shelves in the kitchen. Let me do this. Let me do that, right? So that is what you do, right? If we are connected to Krishna and if you're doing everything for Krishna, if you do not do everything for Krishna, then there is a very famous verse, my favorite in Srimad Bhagavatam, and I'm just going to bring them up. It's from the 5th canto where the teachings of Rishabh-dev are there for his son. He had 100 sons. And who is the most famous son of Rishabh-dev? Can somebody tell me?
Bharat?
Yes, for 500.
Yes, Bharat Maharaj.
Okay. And so let's bring up here. Nunam pramattah gurute vikarna yadindriya pritaya aprinoti nasadhu manye yatatmanoyam asannapi kleshada asadeha. When a person considers sense gratification the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and engages in all kinds of sinful activities. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he has already achieved a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Therefore, I think it is not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again and again in activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after another. So, where else are we reading about getting material bodies one after the other these days? Chat students, chapter 8, Bhagavad Gita.
Get the body again and again.
What is karma?
Because of our karma.
That which leads to your getting the bodies over and over again and again, right? So this is one becomes mad after materialistic and engages in all kinds of sinful activities. So there is this extreme end where you are engaging in sinful activities, right? Because you are mad after material enjoyment. You want to do that, right? And then he's saying that, you know, number one, you shouldn't have had the material body. And number two, now that you got it, make the best use of a bad bargain, as Prabhupada says. Right? Go ahead, Mataji. You had a question?
Mataji, you just mentioned about the 8th chapter. Mataji, I really want to understand the shloka number 24, I think, Mataji, which says the Uttarayan and the Dakshin, and this time one should die and not in darkness and in light. That was the thing I just wanted sometime when you have, free time, which you never have.
Yeah, I would ask you to forget those one, right? Yeah. But focus on the focus on the one which is after that, which says Neti Shruti Parthajanan Yogi.
Yes.
That's the verse. The first two verses which are saying that if you leave when there is light, there is sun.
Yes.
First half of the paksha, and then it is sun is in the north.
Correct.
Then you will leave the body and not come back again, right? And then the other one is that dhrumo, when it is darkness, smoke and all that, right? And Dakshinayan, when the sun is in the south, then you will come back. You'll go to Chandramasam Yogi, you'll go to the Chandrama planets, heavenly planet, and then you'll come back again, right? But then Krishna is saying, Nati Siti Parthajanan Yogi Muhyati Kashchana. The yogi is not attracted by these kind of things as to why am I going to go after my death? Because for the yogi, Narayana Parasarve na kutaschina bhivyati sarga apavargashu apitulyartha darshanaha. So to a person who is, this is Shivji telling to Parvati, that when a person is Narayan Parayana, one who has surrendered to Krishna, for him, Swarga Apavarga Narkeshu, Swarga and Narak, Apitulyartha, they are the same. Why? Why are the same? Because he doesn't care. All that he's saying is that wherever I go, in whichever planet that you put me, I just want to be able to serve you. In whichever family I'm born, whichever country I'm born, whichever yuga I'm born. I just want to have devotional service to you, right?
Which sloka is that? Narayana.
Oh, it's in the 6th canto. Chitraketu story. I don't remember the number at the top of my head. Yeah. Somewhere 14, 15 chapters, something like that. Yeah.
14.
No, in the purport also, Srila Prabhupada has written that you should not, a bhakta should not worry about this.
Yes.
It is mentioned.
Then why are you worried?
No, I'm not worried. I mean, just to know that what is Uttarayan, what is Dakshinayan, and all that, you see.
Yeah,
geographically.
See, the sun takes an orbit, right? The sun takes there's a sun. According to us, according to the Shastra, the sun moves. Right? And then, according to the science, the sun is stable and then the earth moves around it, right? But according to Shastra, the sun moves. So in its orbit, there's orbit is divided into two halves. And when it's the northern half or side of the orbit, it's called Uttarayan. When it's the southern side of the lower half, it's called Dakshinayan, right? Like that. Yeah. So
So now it is Uttarayan, no matter because
after Sankranti, yes. Yeah. Right?
Thank you, Mataji. And when the Dakshinayan starts? After 6 months?
6 months, yeah.
Okay. Because I remember Bhishma, they waited for the Uttarayan to come because he wanted to leave his body. And it recently happened. So that is how I was remembering.
Bhishma waits.
Exactly. And then you also have to remember that Mahabharata is a drama that has been, it's a true drama that has been projected to tell people what is the proper way of life. So sometimes you will see things which bhaktas don't do. According to bhakta, it doesn't matter when they die. Krishna will automatically change. And if a bhakta doesn't die during the month of Kartik, I mean, so many people die in Kartik, right? Is it only the bhaktas die? 1/12 of the people who die in a year die during Kartik, right? Just on an average, 12 months in a year, right? Does it mean that all of them are bhaktas? No. So these kind of things are just, ways in which the yogis are going to do that, right? So if a yogi has got a desire, I want to go to the moon planet, but is not complete and perfect, but you wanted to go to the moon planet, you did yuktāhāra-vihārasya, all that you did. So you will get the results of that. You will go to the Chandrama planet, but you will come back. And our thing is that you get the escape velocity. You know what is escape velocity? When you throw something in the air, like if I take a ball and then I throw it like that, it'll fall, right? If I put a lot more effort and throw it really hard, it'll go up very fast, velocity, speed, right? It'll come, but it'll still come down. Why does it come down? Because of the earth attracts everything, gravity attracts everything, right?
Right.
Now, the higher it goes, the more it is away from the earth's pull also decreases on it. So what I have to do, if I don't want it to fall, I have to give it such a big push that it goes so high that earth is not able to pull it back, right? So that speed with which you put it, with which you throw something out so that it escapes the pull of the earth is known as escape velocity, which basically the rockets do, the satellites do, right? How do the satellites do? That's why satellites fall down. When the velocity is not enough, earth is able to attract them and they fall down. But if they're successful, then they get enough boost to to all that gas and all that burns in the rocket, right? So they get enough boost to come out of this attraction of the earth, and then they start to circulate around it. Since this is not a class on physics, I'm not going to tell you how centrifugal forces act on that. But the essence here is what I'm trying to say is that trying to do half-baked devotional service and having some desire to go to some other material planet is like trying to launch a rocket with not enough speed, and you're going to come down again. You'll go to the moon planet, you'll come down. So what we need to do is to launch ourselves with the escape velocity so that we escape out of this material world and go into the spiritual world and never come down like that, right? So that will happen when you combine your dhyana, your pranayama, your asanas, the pratyahara. When you combine all that and connect it with Krishna, then only that escape velocity is going to happen. Otherwise, you will always come back. Shine punya martha lokam vishanti. In the 9th chapter, this is going to come. Right? You follow the Vedas, and then everything is, you follow the Vedas, they'll tell you that Travidya mam soma paputa papa. In the 9th verse, they're saying, right? Travidya means the 3 Vedas. They're going to follow the 3 Vedas, but then Shine punya martha lokam vishanti. Right? After their credits are exhausted, they will come down. In 9th chapter, you'll read that. In 8th chapter, last verse, what is saying? Vedeshu yaggeshu tapasu cheva daneshu yat punya phalam pradishtam atyeti tat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upeti chadyam. So he's saying that whatever benefits that you get from following the Vedas, Vedeshu yaggeshu, by doing yagyas, tapasu, by doing tapasya, austerities, cheva, daneshu, giving, dan, cheva, right? So, Vedeshu yaggeshu tapasu cheva daneshu yak punya phalam pradishtam atyeti yat sarvamidam viditva yogi param sthanam upeti chadyam. But then knowing that devotional service to the Lord is atyeti, even better than that. And whatever benefits I get from the Vedas, by following the Vedas, whatever benefits I get from, doing yajna, doing tapasya, doing dan, all those benefits I'm going to get if I do devotional service. So when a person knows that, he surrenders to Krishna. Up until he doesn't understand that, like a Ferris wheel, he'll keep on going up, he'll keep on coming down. He does not get the escape velocity to get out of this attraction of the material world. Right? And so this is very, very important, right? That one of our acharyas uses the word like, Prabhupada also says that actually. So let me bring up a verse from 5th canto of Bhagavad Gita. Interesting. 5th canto is very interesting because it describes the universal, this universe, the material world where we live, right? It describes that, and we do find it, yeah.
Very nice, Mother. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I need to just take care of this. Yeah. Okay. So let me bring up that verse. It will be in the 5th canto. I think it's 524. 524. I just wanted to bring this connection here.
Brahmarpanam Brahmahavya.
No.
That is 524.
No.
No, 424. I'm sorry.
So this particular verse is actually telling you how the planets in the planetary system, how they rotate. Right? So science will tell you about forces and things like that, but here it's a very different thing.
Yo anta sukho armas tatantar jyotir evaha. That is 524.
Yeah.
One whose happiness is within. One is active and rejoice within.
No, Vindhyavali Mataji, we are in Bhagavatam. Okay.
Oh, Bhagavatam, sorry.
Yeah.
Going in
So,
Bhagavatam.
yeah. So here, let me bring this up, right? So this is basically majorly it's talking about how the planets move, right? And they're describing all that. That's not the point that I want to bring, but they are saying, what I wanted to emphasize here is this. These planets float in the air within the vast sky, just as clouds with hundreds of tons of water float in the air, or as the great hyena eagles, due to the results of past activities, fly high in the sky and have no chance of falling down, right? So basically, they're talking about number one interesting thing, which I noticed at such a late age when reading this particular verse, was that the clouds are up in the air, and when you look at the clouds, the cumulus clouds, or even the other clouds, they look so beautiful and fluffy, right?
Yeah.
But then they have tons of water in it. And imagine, like, if tons of water falls on our head, what's going to happen to us? But magically, they're held there with tons of water, right? When there's a cloud burst. Yeah, no. Hold on. So this is indeed a miracle, right? That we are able to, the clouds stay there and we are safe over here, right? So anyway, so clouds are there and they float in the air. And here they were talking about an eagle called the Hyena eagle, right? So these Hyena eagles, we don't find them or see them or don't have the eyes to see them in this yuga, because every yuga, the creatures also change, right? So these are so big, and you will find reference to these type of eagles in Adventures of Sindbad. Sindbad ki,
Sindbad stories.
Right, Sindbad story. So obviously, whoever wrote Sindbad had read the Srimad Bhagavatam in some lifestyle to have said that, right? Everything in Sindbad's adventures are mentioned in the Bhagavatam. This canto, 5th canto, yeah. So, just give me 1 second. There's this yatra work going on. Some printing has to be done here. Hold on.
When are you leaving Mataji for yatra?
That we said we don't talk on internet. So, yeah. So what I was saying was that, yeah, so these eagles, they can fly 8 miles up in the air. And they have got such a fine, they are so powerful. They are so powerful that they can fly from one planet to the other planet.
My God.
Right? One planet to the other planet. And as if that's not enough, on the way, they lay their eggs in the air.
Ooh.
Who lays eggs? They lay the eggs in the air. And the eggs, while they are falling down, they hatch on the way. This is in the Bhagavatam, the verse that I quoted. They hatch on the way, and then the bird will come out and then fly away and join the parent, right? Like that. So you can imagine unimaginable, mind-boggling things that these eagles can do. Now, the eagles of this time, the eagles of our time, they do fly high, but not as high as the Hyena eagles, right? How high can an eagle fly? Up 8 miles. Right? And then here now, see, it has got such a powerful vision. The eagle has got such a powerful vision that from 8 miles high, it can see what is on the ground.
Amazing.
And basically, what is the eagle looking for on the ground?
meat.
Mostly
and
dead bodies, Mataji.
Mostly dead
Dead
body. Right, correct, right? So even after going so high and having such a perfect vision, all that you were looking for was a dead body. What use is that vision? Right? What use is that vision for you? Similarly, right? If you are doing too much of tapasya, you don't have yuktāhāra-vihārasya, yuk this, yuk that, but your mind ultimately is still looking for rotten things. There's no point in doing that. So I get a lot of knowledge from the Shastras. I gain a lot of knowledge. I memorize so many verses. And the reason I want to do that is that I can have classes and I can charge money and become rich or become famous or something like that, right? Then you are almost like an eagle. You rose very high, but what were you looking for? Was a carcass, dead body down below, right? So the knowledge that we get, the knowledge that we acquire, right? In the process of acquiring knowledge, it is not about knowing. K-N-O-W. It's not about know, but it's about ability to say no. You see, it's not about no, K-N-O-W, but about the ability to say no, N-O, no. So when you gather all this information, when you gather the knowledge that I am the body, I am not the soul, that I should be able to say no to all these desires, all these desires that the mind has, all these ideas that the mind plants on you, because you got the knowledge now that this is very intricate and it is very entrapping and it's ensnaring. I'll just get caught and I'll sink deeper and deeper and deeper into this thing. Like a whirlpool, I'll be stuck inside. Once you get that knowledge, you will say no. So the purpose of the knowledge is not to be like an eagle at that high level. You know so much what is where on this planet. It's about saying no to the carcass. Saying no. Okay, I saw that. I know that, but I will not indulge in that. I will not do that, right? That is what Haridas Thakur did, right? There was some temptation right in front of him. And he said no. So we have to keep that in mind, that our all this yukta-hāra, vihār and all that, ultimately we have to understand that we have to no to material, yes to Krishna. That's how you're going to vote to in your life, right? And that sometimes yukta-hāra, people say that oh, I have but I do stress eating. Do you do stress eating? Anybody does stress eating? When you're stressed out, right? People eat, take out an ice cream and whole box and they eat. People do that, right? I was very surprised when I came here, and the days I used to watch television, they were like, oh, their girlfriends, and one girlfriend comes and says, oh, Tommy dumped me, and the other girl will open the refrigerator, give her a big box of ice cream, and then she eats it and she's feeling happy. So indulging, right? So we indulge in all these things, but the idea here is that first try to avoid stress. From stress, either you will eat too much or you won't eat. From stress, either you will sleep too much or you won't sleep. There are two kinds of people. Some people cannot sleep at all when there's stress, and some people will immediately sleep. As soon as stress is there, their body just can't handle it, they go to sleep, right? So that has to be a balance, right? There have to be a balance in our life, and then that imbalance is coming from the stress. And from where is all this stress coming? Why am I stressed out in my life, right? I am stressed out in my life because I have made my life super complicated. Why has it become super complicated? Because I listen to others, other materialistic people. Yeah. You are going all alone. You're going on the rickshaw. I think you should buy a car. Or your car has become too old. I think you should get a new one. I think you should paint your house. Oh, you have only one house. I think you should have one more. People are suggesting to us. So we have to learn to say no to this, right? No, 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 no. Right? So number one, there is so much of impetus coming my way from the outside the world. Then I have to clarify things in my head. Is this really necessary? What does the Shastra say? Is this really necessary? What does the Shastra say about that, right? So simplify your life, look at it and say, clarify, clarify, clarify. I want this, I want that, I don't want that, right? And then, you know, you have to purify. And what I mean by purifying is that even after getting all this knowledge that this is wrong, this is the one that is causing me stress, despite all that, I still do this. Arjuna says, right, why do commit sins in the 3rd chapter? As if compelled by something. Yes. And what is that force that is compelling us to do all these things, knowing very well they are bad for us? Are our samskaras, the bad desires that are lurking, and how the dark desires that are lurking in our head. And how will those dark desires go away? How will that darkness go away? To remove darkness, you have to bring in
the Shastras.
Light, right? Simple answer, light, right? So, from where the light come? From the Shastras, from doing devotional service. That is how the light is going to come to your life, right? So when you go and start doing these things, stress will automatically go away. Why? Because Asha Bandha. I also, as devotional service, I increase my faith in Krishna, and I know that Asha Bandha, Krishna will take care of me. A true sannyasi is able to leave his house and go with nothing on him because he knows Krishna will take care of me. Like that. Sutama Mataji, go ahead. You are speaking.
Yes. Yes, Mataji. Like it's not all the time that people from desire we are stressed. Sometimes, like if we lose our job, or sometimes there is a health problem, that is also give lot of stress, Mataji.
Yes, well, if a person loses a job, unless there is a desire, there's some desire behind it, right? The desire was to have a job, and you lost it. You see? And so then the question is, why did I have a desire to have a job? Then dig deeper, you will know. Why should I have a job?
To survive.
Do we really need a job to survive? And did we really need that job to survive? Actually, our jobs actually kill us. Right? Although we might say that I need a job to survive, but it's the jobs that kill us. So much of stress in the job that I develop diseases, this and that.
I know.
Right? So the question is, what kind of a job? There was this famous story that they say, right? That once Bill Gates from the Microsoft fame had to cross a river. He was in a hurry. And there was a boatman sleeping in his boat. And so he said, hey, take me over there. And the boatman didn't recognize Bill Gates. And he said, this is my sleeping time. After afternoon napping time, I don't. So he said, okay, how much do you charge to take there? Like $10. Okay, I'll give you 20. He says, no. 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 1,000, 1 million, 20 million, like that. So he said, the boatman then said that, you know, he said, when Gates said, I'll give you 20 million, he said that I don't want the 20 million. But Gates said that if you, but this will be very useful for you. So which way will it be useful for you? Well, if I give you $20 million, you don't have to do anything. He said, that's what I'm doing right now. Right? So this is how complicated the world can become. That is why in the very first thing that I said for stress was simplify your life. Simplify it. We can start by going around the house, looking at the unnecessary things we have collected, give it away in donation to a suitable person. Simplify life. Right? Behind everything that happens, there's a desire. And behind every grief that we feel in our heart, there is a desire that was not fulfilled. Always. You just need to learn the art of doing that analysis. To come back and say, it was my desires. This world is situated on desires. There's nothing else.
Mataji, the recent verse which you brought up, you highlighted also, that was 5th canto, which chapter and which verse?
5th canto, 5th chapter, and I think it was verse number 3. Nunam pramatta, right? 5.5.4. 5.5.4.
No, that was the first one. No, 5.5.4.
Nunam pramatta, kurute vikarma. Oh, the eagle ones you want to 5.23. 5.23.3.
5:23:3.
Right. So again, you see now, yuktāhāra-vihārasya. So how much do you eat? How much do you want to eat? And so sometimes people will fast, right? Like, oh, I put on 80 pounds, and you go to a nutritionist and he says, you fast. So we are fasting, but to whom? Right? For what reason? For what cause? So these fasting and all these things can also be in the three modes of ignorance, passion, and goodness, right? For example, Gandhiji used to fast, and Prabhupada used to be very upset with that, because he would say, I'm going to fast until death. And people were very impressed with that. But it's Prabhupada who came and really opened our eyes to that, this kind of fasting is not to be glorified, because he was fasting to meet his own political need. Right? On the other hand, recently last week, when we had the establishment of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, right? And Prime Minister Modi was there to do the Pran Pratishtha prayer, was participating in the Pran Pratishtha prayers. And he was told that you fast for 3 days. Don't eat anything for 3 days in order to be able to do that. That was a qualification. He fasted for 11, actually. 11 days with only coconut water. But who was he fasting for?
For bringing Ram.
For the Lord, right? So you see a difference? 2 leaders fasting. One fasts for something, one fasts for something very different. Like that. So we have to learn to make that distinction in our lives when we are performing any kind of activities like this. Okay? So with
Mataji,
this,
I have to leave.
no, I have to leave before you.
Thank you, Mataji, for a nice class. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Welcome. Hare Krishna. Nanda Pranam. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha. Patita Nam Pavni Vaishnavi
Leaving?
Gopremanande. Hare.
I thought Sutapa is leaving. Mataji. I was concentrating on Sutapa and you said Vancha Kalpataru.